The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
This is All Things Elite. Welcome back to All Things Elite. Load up the pod, man, it's on when we speak. Rich right here, let me warm it up for Austin and Floyd. Couldn't be no one but the boys. When it come to All Things Elite from the fan perspective, swear, man, it ain't no question. Hear from them first. Swear, man, they putting in the work. No, they had to get me for the verse. Social Suplex Network's on. I was at a time in your headphones. Austin and Floyd on the microphone. Backing out on the ring, getting in the zone. Pulling up the show, give it 7 stars, you already know. Who else could it be but the show with the proclivity for positivity? I'm gone.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 291st episode of Social Suplex's podcast about AEW with a proclivity for positivity. My name is Austin Somwitz. I am the host of All Things Elite, and joining with me, as always, is my co-host of All Things Elite, Mr. Floyd Johnson Jr. Welcome, Floyd. How you doing?
Sup? Now I'm doing good. I've had an amazing week. I found out really cool thing. I'm gonna get to tell my good friend Sydney about this. My job, and I'm not gonna say why because I don't really talk about what I do, is paying for me to go to New York next month.
Let's fucking go!
So it's a weekend. We're going up for something. And so that Saturday, it's the same day as Florida State and Miami. So the timing on that is going to throw off. But I get a free Saturday in New York. So I have been talking about forever going to a Broadway show. I am definitely going to do that. The big thing about the Broadway show is I can't decide which one I want to go to. And of course, again, if you know me, you know, I don't necessarily look and act like the normal Broadway fan, but I am definitely a fan of TV and all that stuff. And so a lot of people that I like are on Broadway right now. So Taye Diggs and Wayne Brady are in Moulin Rouge right now. Megan Hilty is in When Death Becomes Her. Joey Fatone is on and Juliet. And then they got like the original Disney cast of on doing Hamilton. So the guy that's playing Leslie Odom, the guy that originally played Aaron Burr, is performing there. So it's like, so I have a Saturday, right? And so it's like, I'm all about my fandom, and I haven't missed. Even with us sucking last year, I haven't missed a Florida State game in, 2025? I think 2003 is the last time I missed a Florida State game. So, like, in its entirety. But it's like I get this once the chance to go to New York, and I get one Saturday. And I can flip it and do 2 shows. Because, they do the matinee and then the night show.
I was going to say, you'll get the matinee for sure.
Matinee, but basically it would require me missing the Florida State game. So I'm like in this real quandary. And I don't watch recorded sports. I don't. Like, I will go back and watch it to break it down, like to see if something I missed or something like that on occasion. I'm not saying I'm watching every game second time. No, but on occasion. But part of sports to me is rooting for the winner. If the winner has already been decided, I can't root. I just feel stupid because it's already the thing has already happened. So, so I have a month to make up the decision. ESPN could do me a really, really, really big favor and make Florida State and Miami the noon game. But because then I wouldn't see all the game, but I would still see most of the game, go into the matinee, and then be able to go see both shows. But dude,
I'll tell you right now, Sydney is going to go see Death Becomes Her this weekend because my parents are actually flying to go see Sid this weekend before she's got a few weeks of just nothing but school. And then, are you a fan of Alicia Keys?
I am a fan of Alicia Keys. There was that show too that y'all already saw.
We saw that, and it was very good.
So
it was very, very good.
so there's this ticket app where you can buy like extra tickets.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get into like the Alicia Keys ones. You can actually get in pretty cheap. Hamilton.
Good luck.
It costs as much as my rent, but you know.
I say good luck.
Yeah. So,
dude, trust me, we got lucky. The one time we went to go see Hamilton, it was when they were recording for the Disney Plus recordings of the show. So the entire original cast was back, including Jonathan Groff as King George, who was gone from the show already, but he came back for the recordings for the Disney Plus taping. So we got so fucking lucky. When we walked up to the theater and saw the screen saying tonight's show is going to be filmed for a special filming, we lost our minds. We couldn't believe that we got that lucky.
Yeah, that is really lucky, and that is awesome. But yeah, so my problem is I want to see too much. Because whatever I go see on the matinee is going to be the first Broadway show I've ever seen. So, like, what is that going to be in my head? You know,
Are you going to see one of the new ones, or are you going to want to see a classic? Like I said, Moulin Rouge is a classic. You've always got, of course, Wicked, Lion King, Mamma Mia's back on Broadway too. Aladdin, Great Gatsby, Book of Mormon, Hamilton, Chicago.
Right.
Like there's so many classics that's been there for quite some time. Yeah. Beetlejuice is a good new one too. So it's a tough choice. There's plenty of shows to go see, but like I said, that's the reason why my mom visits New York all the time. It's just to see a new show. Also, the MJ musical. Fucking fantastic.
Okay.
So good. That is one I would highly recommend as well.
Yeah, so you're seeing my quandary right there. You just highly recommended like 4 things. I'm like, I got 2 shows I can go to. I'm like,
yeah. Trust me, my mom will help you with questions so you can figure out what you're looking for. So like my mom will be like, hey, like let me know what you're trying to see, and then she'll narrow it down for you, help you narrow it down. So.
Yeah, so I'm very so that was really good news. Very excited for that. My friends Kendi and Laura, I have been bringing them up on the show recently. Laura has been helping me with the Twitter page. So they're massive Young Buck fans. Like,
that's a shame.
Without using the word elite, I don't know what they are. The Young Bucks fans. They run an Instagram page called Young Bucks 5 Vibes. They're really cool people. Laura's been following the Bucks for like PWG days, like OG Young Bucks fan. Kendi, I honestly have never asked her when she started following the Young Bucks, but I know it's a significant amount of time because they both run the page together, and they found each other a while back, but neither one had met the Young Bucks. Fast forward, the Young Bucks do, hey, a 1999, hey, come meet us thing before the show. So they both got to meet them. And I'm using, this is not the Cody fan coming out of me. I'm using the words that Laura said. She got to finish her story by meeting the Young Bucks. So I was very happy.
And they did their meet and greet for $20 too.
Yeah, $20. And so these are basically new friends. I think I've known them collectively like a month, maybe 2. It's not been that long. And they got to meet the Young Bucks, and I was like, that was really awesome. Because I had talked to them and learned how passionate about both of them about the Young Bucks, I was just as happy as if I had met like my favorites for the first time, because that's always a cool moment in wrestling. That's what wrestling's about. That's what gets lost in this, this technical, was that a 5-star match? Was suspension of disbelief? All these other words that get thrown around often. They forget about this, the idea that these wrestlers affect people and change their lives, and and they have these emotional connections to the characters they play, and sometimes to the actual real people. They get to know the real people, so we forget that. That's what ATE was really built on, is being about the fan and the fan experience, and just talking to them about it. And I'm still thinking about recording a little thing with them and then putting it on the show. because that's what this show is. The fan experience, these the emotional connections, the emotional wrestling watchers, the people you're like, does it got to have a story? Maybe not, but it has to make me feel. Whether it has this complicated story like the Hangman saga, him getting to the world title, or if it's, just simply Swerve wanting to be the first black champion. As long as you have things that emotionally grab you, that's what wrestling is to me. Like, I've seen great technical matches that I don't give a fuck about. I shout out to ZSJ and Nigel McGuinness. Honestly, no. Clearly great technical match. Wrestling proficient. All that. I never had that emotional connection with Nigel McGuinness. I never had that emotional connection with Zack Sabre Jr. So, I didn't, there was nothing to match, and it was perfectly well executed, but it didn't do anything for me,
Mm-hmm.
They're amazing wrestlers. I mean, literally, Zack Sabre Jr. does his style better than anyone else ever. You know what I mean? It's like, he's right there with all the rest of them. I'm like, all the greats, don't get me wrong. Nigel McGuinness, when he was at his time, he was one of the best wrestlers in the world. Don't get me wrong, but I didn't care about that match. And I'm saying that because, not to rain on their parades, because I'm glad Nigel got that entrance in the O2 and everybody went crazy. I love that for them. But it was just like, it's just wrestling to me, And it's like, I've had those type of matches where it's like, it was probably, the match was technically proficient. It was probably a 4.5-star match. I didn't care. I didn't care who won. And that's a problem for me. That's how I watch wrestling. I'm not saying anyone else has to watch wrestling like me, but I need to care about the winner. If I don't care about the winner, it's like watching porn and not being able to get an erection. It's like, what am I doing here?
Well, on that, we will go ahead, guys, get into the meat and potatoes of the show. We weren't on last week, but we are back this week, so we wanted to...
We were technically on last week. We just recorded early in the week before Dynamite, so we really didn't miss a week. We just covered Forbidden Door.
We didn't cover Dynamite. We covered Forbidden Door, but we're back getting onto the Dynamite train. So we'll real quickly touch on a couple things from the show last week and just the big highlights and stuff like that. But then we'll get into everything from last night's show, also at Philadelphia for Dynamite. Before we get into everything, though, we want to make sure you guys are downloading this fine show on YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Rate, review, subscribe, turn automatic downloads on. Give us a share with your friends, family, coworkers, whoever you wish. Follow us on Twitter at ATElitePod. Also follow Social Suplex at Social Suplex and check out all the other amazing shows they have on their network. I am at Austin Sumowitz, SZUMOWICZ. Floyd is at Floyd Johnson Jr. on Twitter. Go to Chop Tees and get a t-shirt and sign up for the Social Suplex newsletter. Links in the description of this show. And news of the week, we have our contest winner from Forbidden Door. Floyd, we announced this on Twitter. You can go ahead and get into our winner of this.
This is crazy. Shout out to Jason, Jason, or as I call him, J-Ro. I often refer him. He's literally a day one listener to us. Like, first episode.
Mm-hmm.
I've met him. We went to shows together. I absolutely consider him a friend. Definitely has met my wife, but he's an OG listener. He's not a part of the show, so he was eligible to win. And I'll tell you how I do it. And I've explained this on the show, but to the new listeners, this is how I do it. I went through and manually grabbed all the names, put in the extra votes for the people that posted that they were watching the show, did retweets to get the extra votes. I put them in the list, got the list, and I go to random.org, and I go to their list randomizer. And I click it 7 times. I'll let you guess the reason. And once I click it 7 times, it puts the list in order. What I do is I don't look at the list. I screenshot it really quick and save it. And then I call a random person. Sometimes it's Austin. Sometimes it's just whoever's available online that day. And I say, pick a number 1 through whatever the total entry list was, right? And they pick a number. That's the winner. It's that simple. It's as random as possibly can be. There's no way for me to fudge it, right? So I took the screenshot and I said, hey, ask my boy Chris Reigns, Britt Baker's super fan. Please bring back Britt Baker. TK. I know if you ever hear this, bring back Britt Baker. I'm never gonna not say it because I love her to death. She was, like I said, she was my favorite wrestler, and then she just stopped being on the TV. So I asked him to pick the number. He picked 28. No, he picked 23, and 23 was J-Ro, and J-Ro was with me when we got our Okada figures. So he says, I don't need the Okada figure. Give it to someone else. And I was like, well, I'm not going to give it to someone else. Pick a number, 1 through whatever, right? He picked a number, and he picked it for my boy Zach Weiss. Again, another one of, he's not necessarily an OG listener, but he's been listening since we were in the double digits, and we're almost at 300. So he's been listening since we were in the double digits. I met him at Full Gear in Starcast, Baltimore. That Full Gear show where Cody went against Chris Jericho and he could never go for the title again. That show, that infamous show. That's the weekend I met him, and we were just in a random line. And yeah, so that's how the numbers were picked. I had nothing really to do with the numbers being picked. So if you want to hate anybody, you can go ahead and hate Chris Reigns, and you can hate J-Ro because they are the ones that actually pick the numbers. The packages are going out to them too. As we get closer to 300, I will be doing another contest. I have ran out of wall space, but because I ran out of wall space, I still haven't stopped buying stuff. So I have really good stuff that's just kind of sitting here. So I am actually trying right now to put together a prize pack, which is going to have multiple prizes on it. And then we're going to give that away on Twitter and on the show, of course, because the goal is to get you to listen to the show. I mean, I know people are like, well, all you want to do is people listen to the show. Duh. Again, I want you to listen to the show. We both just enjoy doing this. I enjoy talking to Austin an hour and a half every week. Don't get me wrong, but I want other people to listen to it. I think we put on an entertaining product. You know what I mean? And again, if, like I said, if you want great technical grounds, this is why the Social Suplex Podcast Network is the best network. If you want super great technical breakdowns, there's nobody better doing it than Keeping It Strong Style. You want to laugh your ass off? Nobody better doing it better than One Nation Radio, right? You just want a straight recap of what happened on you want a straight recap of what happened on Dynamite, every week. We got a what is it? What's it called? It's it's got AEW in the name. But there's an AEW just recap show that we have. It's the Wrestling with Imp. What? God damn it! I'm only mad because I had the name. I looked up the names so I could talk about the shows we had on the network right before. Yeah, Imp's AEW Adventure, and it's and he does his thing there, and you can get that from them. Laughing a lot on Tunnel Talk and a breakdown from the women. We have Wrestling Art. We have everything on this podcast that you show that you can listen to, that you can do. And I think 4 different shows break down AEW on this one. Because, honestly, One Nation Radio, they break down what they like. And AEW is kind of the preferred show of a lot of people on this network. So you can get everything you want. Just make sure you go to your podcast app of your choice. I use Podcast Republic because Rich told me to. And just follow the Social Suplex feed and just download every episode. I will tell anyone this. Even if you don't listen to, download every episode. It helps. The download helps. it helps us, and it's free. You know what I mean? It's not like, it's just like you can just set it up to download automatically, just like I do. So now, make sure you listen to the show, and yeah, you might be able to win some shit. I'm not giving the 1.7 billion that the Powerball's giving away, but I'm giving away some pretty.
We
cool
don't have that kind of budget.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm giving away some pretty cool AEW shit. Now, if I do win the lottery Saturday, I will be giving out better shit. I'm just gonna throw that in for you because I'll retire. You know, I'll be done.
New green shirt guy.
Yes, I will retire. I will be done doing this, and yeah, and it'll be like, oh, you want an all expense paid trip to All In? Listen to our show. No, but that, I'm saying that as an example. That is not a contractual obligation that I'm entering in. I might get rich and decide to be super fucking stingy and not give a dime away. We'll see.
Depends on the mood.
It depends on the mood. Yes, I'm not entering in, but this is not no binding contract. I'll decide.
Right.
I doubt I'll win, but if I do, I'm gonna have some fun.
Oh yeah. Oh, you know it.
Yeah,
know it.
But $177 billion, like even after the breakdown, I think you get like 600 million. Whatever it is. That is like literally, I can't even say fuck you money. Because I think like 10 million is fuck you money. You don't need anything from anybody else. What do you do when you have $600 million? Like you go from what you're making now to having $600 million.
It's truly like that. It's a number that doesn't even register to me.
It doesn't exist.
It's so like unattainable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm gonna give me a new Honda Civic. Well, what are you gonna do with the other $599 million?
Yeah. $600 million parlay.
So like, what are you doing? Because after you go to the Super Bowl, after you go to the Super Bowl on 50-yard line, you sit first row at WrestleMania, sit first row at All In. After you do all that shit, it's like, okay, what do I do now?
I'm like, oh shit! I cut into like 2% of my budget.
Yeah, so no, it's just crazy, dude. I'm gonna put up the poll tomorrow. So if you're listening, make sure you think of it. What you win the Powerball? What's the first thing you're doing? That's gonna be a question of the question of tomorrow on the AT Elite Pod. It's not. It could be AEW related. It could not be AEW related. But I really do want to know because I love the fantasy. That's why I buy the ticket. I never think I'm going to win. I buy the ticket so I can fantasize.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because it's like a 1 in a billion chance. And when the number gets that high, so many more people are buying tickets. So
exactly. Yeah. So.
Yeah, we can move on.
Yep. But if you did get Powerball tickets, best of luck to you. Moving to everything with Dynamite this week, we will get into real quickly. We'll touch in on last week's Dynamite. Just a couple things that we weren't able to talk about. First of all, with the show being the first night at the 2300 Arena, and it continued over into this past week, the vibe is sick. I like the way that the stage is kind of set up and everything like that. I think it's a really cool design with all the hanging LED boards and stuff like that. I thought it was extra cool how they honored Taz this week and the week before. That was sick. Putting him in the 2300 Arena Hall of Fame, raising the banner, all the talent coming out with Taz shirts. Like, so fucking cool that they did that. Because, I mean, like, you talk about a guy who bled for this city. Like this man did so much in Philly for ECW and all that kind of stuff. So showing that kind of respect to him was awesome. It was sick to see Hook back. It was awesome to see the performance of Claudio and Darby absolutely killing each other was insanely good. Mox and Daniel Garcia was a lot of fun. And then, of course, was the announcement that immediately got Floyd a ticket to go and go to Toronto, which is when Cope and Christian challenged FTR at All Out.
Dude, we've been speculating on this match happening basically since FTR turned on Cope. This was everything, like the fights and all that stuff was just like confirming it. I 100% knew in my soul that match was happening. Me and Jackie, I was talking to her. I was like, let's book Toronto. She's like, they haven't announced the match. And I was like, it's TK. Shit, we might be on the plane when he announces the match. We don't know. And for the sake of my friend and her sanity, I am so happy they did not make us wait. Right after the show after Forbidden Door, first segment in, after the fight, FTR versus CNC Wrestling Factory, as I call them, and Toronto. I hope it's the main event. It won't be, but I hope it's the main event because it's in Toronto. It's my first time in Canada. Timmy Hortons, what's up? I'm gonna hit you up hard. But yeah, this is it. This is emotion. This is everything. This is professional wrestling. The mentor. Because Cash and Cope, if you've ever listened to the podcast and all that stuff, they go back. He was, before he was Cash Wheeler, before he was Dash Wilder, Cope was his mentor, right? So that being said, the turning on your mentor, that's just classic pro wrestling. I think Dax and Cope vacation together. That's how tight they were. You know what I mean? So this is everything that I want in my wrestling. Kind of wish the titles were on the line, but I will get over that. I will get over that. And I do have some good news about Brodito today. I had a post yesterday. I have some good news about Brodito.
Yes.
So, but we'll get there later. But yeah, I am ecstatic. I will be seeing this with Jackie Rodriguez, and we will be seeing it together. And it's going to be just being there with my friend who is a massive FTR fan in that moment. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. So I love that. And yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, no. And again, like I said, show last week was a lot of fun. And I will say the highlight for me was Darby and Claudio. Just Darby getting thrown by Claudio onto the table. The announce table was fucking ridiculous. And it looked brutal.
So and that match was in August, right?
Yes, it was.
I think that just changed my
Yes, we got a little bit of our monthly thing that we do. We're going to touch on that at the end of the show.
Yes.
But yes, you can give yourself a little bit of a preview of what to expect with that. But that's kind of the big highlights that we pulled. Also, Chris Statler and Harley Cameron teaming together is a team I enjoy very, very much. And they got the win over Megan Bain and Penelope Ford. Shout out to them as well. And there was a really good moment where Kenny saved Hangman against the Don Callis family as well. But we'll move quickly over now to this week's Dynamite, and we'll touch on that. So the show opens up, and we get into the start, which is when Gabe Kidd comes out and calls out Darby Allin, and then they start brawling, basically. And then that's when the Death Riders come out, and they make the appearance, and then the hook signal flies up, and he starts walking down to the ring. And then the Ops music hits, and they just bull rush past Hook to take care of the Death Riders and start fighting. They're all beating each other up. Gabe Kidd and Darby Allin go to the back, and that's where he tries to hit Darby's hand or head with a hammer. He gets out of the way. Darby then proceeds to chloroform him, and then gets him in a body bag, zips it shut, gets in his truck, and then drives away. And there goes Gabe Kidd. So that was fucking wild. Just seeing how that whole thing went down. A wild start to open up the show, honestly. And it was a nice shot in the arm to just have some real big chaos for an opening segment with everybody involved in this. And yeah, I thought this was really, really fun. It fit the fact that we were in Philly too. Like the fact that this all happened in Philly, I think it just makes sense. You know what I mean? Like that. So, yeah.
So
Fun as hell. Fun as hell, I will say, to open the show.
So you want to talk about the great minds thinking alike, right? So I'm on the phone with JR, and I'm watching Dynamite, and I was like, dude, this whole Philly thing has felt like a real love letter to ECW. Like, I didn't watch a lot of ECW, but the shows always had this chaotic energy to them. And that's what this time in Philly has been. These last 2 weeks, I feel like have been some of the best Dynamites like ever. And it's like, this is how you do almost like a tribute show without it being a heavy-handed tribute show. It has matched that energy and chaos that is ECW. And I even said, I was like, man, this has really felt like a love letter to ECW, right? So I'm on the Social Suplex Podcast Network. And September 1st, I have my automatic downloads on. Imp's AEW Adventure / what does he title it? A love letter to ECW. Great minds think alike.
Oh, yeah.
And like, it's crazy. I did not see that or went to that page before I said that to JR, because the fact is the energy is there. It's like, I'm not saying you have to be this person that was in the building or you had to be an everyday ECW watcher, but if you watch 3 or 4 of the old episodes, every episode had a chaotic energy to it. And this last few weeks of AEW Dynamite has had this chaotic, very like erratic energy to it, and it's been amazing. So I really did. I enjoyed this opening segment.
Yeah, no, it was just super, super fun. Like I said, it just was a way to just really shoot things off into space to open up the show. We then had our TBS Championship match between Mercedes Moné and Alex Windsor. Yes. And honestly, crazy strong stuff, I thought. This was a really, really nice performance between both of these girls. I really enjoyed how Windsor was able to get a lot of work in on the lower body of Mercedes. There was a little bit of an issue I had, though, which was there was a point where she gets Alex Windsor gets Mercedes Moné out to the outside, and she gets her in the sharpshooter, and she starts tapping, and I was just kind of like, it's interesting that we just have her tapping on the outside, even though like Windsor knows this isn't finishing her. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the finish because she tapped outside. It's not a legal victory. So it was a weird spot that kind of like was a bit like.
So the kayfabe reason is, and this is the kayfabe reason, and you can decide to accept it or not. That's your business. It's the idea that wrestlers train for when people to tap out, you let go. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So you tap just to try to get that instinct to kick in, even though she knows, even though technically they know that it doesn't win. You know what I mean? Or you can't lose that way. So you tap to get them to let go. That's the kayfabe reason.
I know. It was kind of like a spot that to me was like,
and I feel icky using the word kayfabe. I want to let y'all know that, but it has become such a part of the fan word usage. I couldn't think of another way to say it because that's the word's been used so long. So I just want to let y'all know. If you like, oh man, that felt icky, him saying that word, it felt icky to me. I don't want to use that word. It's not my word to use, but I don't know what other word to use now. We've used it so much.
Yeah, but no, it was a very physical match. Like I said, the knees and the lower body of Mercedes being targeted, I thought was a good moment as well. I liked the moment where she brought out a blue thunder bomb. Was hype. I was gassed when that was hit. But then Mercedes was able to, after she was on the top rope, she gets hit by a headbutt. Mercedes then hits the statement maker. There was a couple moments where she gets out of it and then gets into a pin, but she kicks at it too. But then eventually roll up, Mercedes captures her, and Mercedes retains the title. And they're just kind of like taken aback a little bit by the match. And, Windsor goes up and she goes to shake Mercedes' hands. And Mercedes reaches out and then middle finger. And that's where she then proceeds to have Windsor be like, you know what? You're not going to shake my hand, motherfucker. And then tries to jump her afterwards. Like basically just trying to get her back for the disrespect. Mercedes fights back and is able to get her a belt and hit the TBS title and hit her in the face with it. She hits the statement maker again. And then music hits. No joke. It had been so long since I saw her and I like on TV. I heard the music and for whatever reason, first thing that went in my head was Jamie Hayter. And I'm like, no, that's not Jamie Hayter. It's fucking Riho. She comes through the crowd. Great drop kick to Mercedes. Sends her to flying to the outside. And she grabs the TBS championship and looks at Mercedes. Riho is back. Fuck yes. I am so about this.
Yes, and I hope TK is in a bringing people back mood. You know what I mean? So, like, there's a couple other people I want to see brought back. I mean, we've got Wardlow. We've gotten Rio. Let's fucking go. Shout out to Rio, the first champ. Oh, my God. I'm so excited because, I was there. First Dynamite when she won the title. And I am, and she, like, literally, when you talk about, like, one of the first non-elite, non-Jericho, non-Mox ratings draws, Rio was that. She used to, like, people used to tune in to watch Rio. And the best thing about it, because I actually got a couple things from this segment to discuss. The best thing about it is they didn't make you wait a day. They said, boom. They didn't make you say, oh, yeah, she's got to go qualify. No, Rio versus Mercedes at All Out. Fuck yes. I am so excited about that. I popped so hard when Rio came back. Well, I read something early today, and it's one of those stupid things that I usually wouldn't address on the show because we are the political proclivity for positivity. But the reason I want to address it is if you saw Mercedes and Alex Windsor wrestle tonight, and you saw Alex Windsor wrestle at Forbidden Door, and somehow it's in your mind that the only reason she has a job is because of Will Ospreay, you need to examine yourself.
Yes.
You need to, seriously, examine yourself. I could cuss and I could tell you where to stick your opinion. I'm just saying you just need to examine why you get to that, or why you go to there, just because they happen to be in a relationship. There are a lot of wrestlers that are in relationships with other wrestlers that don't have jobs. Period. So this woman is elite. You saw it. You saw it in the match last night. She more than held her own against Mercedes. Now, I'm not saying Mercedes can't have a great match with anyone, but last night wasn't what people would call a carry job. She held her own in that match, and she held her own ever since she got in the company. So I could not fathom, other than, general sexism, why you would think
pretty much
that's the only reason she has a job. So, I mean, I feel like you think a little of TK if you think that's the only reason she has a job. So
yes,
or no, but whatever.
That's ridiculous.
We can move on from that because it's about Rio coming back, the original AEW Women's Champion coming back. I'm so excited to see her back. Like I said, there's more people I want to see back on my TV. I miss Nyla. I miss Nyla Rose on my TV. I do.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, dude. I was part of the Lance Archer should be on my screen every week army. I was a part of
get to that, yeah.
I was part of the Will Hobbs should be on my screen every week army. And Tony Khan has obliged me. They have found roles for them to be on TV every week. Nyla, one of the most charismatic, hilarious people ever. How's she not on your screen every week? I think of Nyla and Harley interactions, I'd just book that as a segment every week.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I mean, just naturally hilarious people. And like I said, it's just like we're in a comeback mood. I'm seeing the comebacks are coming. I've heard that the women's roster is kind of a little injured right now. Okay, keep them coming. Keep them coming. There's 3 letters. I'm going to say DMD. I love it when the music hits. I want to go wild. I want to buy Britt Baker shit. I want to buy Britt Baker shit. I want to buy bitches back shit. And Tony Storm, she kind of asked for Britt to come back. I feel like in her promo, she asked for Britt to come back.
I would say that that's a sign. I would say that's a call out, and maybe not by name, but that's she should be in the conversation of that.
Yeah, I mean, they're using Deanna on Ring of Honor. That's another one that should be on my screen. Mm-hmm. I know there's only 4 hours, or excuse me, like 4 hours and 30 minutes with all the overrun. So again, everybody can't be on the screen, but you got to remember the OG people that got you there. Yeah. They got you where you're at. Much. You got to remember those.
But we move in then back. Oh yeah, you got to. No, that's no question about it. So hopefully that TK hears us and gets us with some more returns, especially since a few guys are getting injured and are off TV for other things. I feel like now's a good time to bring back some faces that we haven't seen in a bit. So, but moving on, Hook was backstage and got in front of the ops and basically been like, listen, I didn't need your guys' help to fight my battles, and I was not happy that I was replaced before the body was even cold in regards to being replaced by Hobbs. And Hobbs basically goes like, I always had your back. And Joe was like, no, hold up. And then basically said, we had to take our opportunities and we had to make the call with you down. You know what? I'll take the blame for making that. And even if you don't want our backup, we are taking care of our business. And there will come a time where you need our help. And whether you want it or not, we're going to have your help. We're going to give you help. And we're going to have your back.
I don't know how else to say this, but dude, Samoa Joe's a dude. I mean, this is a dude.
Dude.
This is a dude promo, right? No bullshit. No, we're not going to let it fester and you attack me from behind. I made the decision. They said, hey, we need somebody to fill the spot. I picked the decision. This ain't on Hobbs. Hobbs didn't do this to you. I did it to you. You got a problem? I'm the person you got to address it with. And we still got your back, even though this kind of sucked. But I'm just like, let me ask. Hook is young. Hook is young. I think he's like 20 years younger than me. He's a kid. I would ask him, what do you want me to do? Say no? Let me turn down this title shot because our boy got hurt. Was he supposed to say no? Was he supposed to say no? I don't know. So
no, honestly, it was kind of a G check. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's like he's just a dude, man. Samoa Joe is like the guy. Like you don't question him, man. He has this energy about him, like true badass energy kind of thing. And it's just like in that like simple moment, I was like, he hyped me up, and he didn't really say anything in it, but that energy he brings to it, like. Watch it, like if you're a wrestler and you're trying to understand what you want to be and you like understand in every word and every movement Samoa Joe does, it bleeds through Samoa Joe. Like Hook, even in this time, I was like, and believe me, I am like one of the OG Hook people. I still think he has a big career ahead of him, but I didn't really believe what he was saying. I don't know how you felt. But I'm like, in his thing, it's just like, he's supposed to be pissed. He's supposed to be hurt. And I don't feel like it gave me that vibe.
I can see that in a good amount of his promos, yeah.
Like, Samoa Joe believes everything he's saying. Taz, to use the example, because Hook, Taz, the one thing that drew me for him, before I ever saw him suplex anybody, I heard a Taz promo. And it was just like, you thought you were speaking like hearing from somebody that was 6'6", 230 pounds. And I remember like the energy of that. And then, he came out to the ring, he's like 5'7". And it was like, but the way he cut his promos, he believed everything he was saying. And if I had anything to say to Hook, as somebody that has never done this but is just a fan, I need to believe what you're saying when you're talking. And right now,
no, and there's points when Hook does his promos that you can kind of feel like he's saying the line, but he's just kind of saying it aggressively. But it's not. It still sounds like he's saying a line.
Yeah, that's what it felt like last night. I don't know how you do that. Like I said, not a wrestler. I want to make sure that's clear. I don't even know what I don't know. But get with the people like Cope. Get with the people like Christian. Get with the people like Samoa Joe. Get with your dad. When they cut promos, whether they're being assholes or being good guys, you believe everything they're saying.
Yep.
And I don't know how to teach that. I can't.
It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that. I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying it for the type of character that Hook seems to be trying to be. That is more than the moves, more than anything. That is 100% essential that I believe what you're saying.
Yeah. But we'll move quickly over to, there's a quick little backstage promo with Ricochet and Gates of Agony. Basically saying them and the Hurt Syndicate should settle their differences at All Out. Toronto said it wasn't a challenge, it was a demand. And then we went into Mark Briscoe coming out and said he had a little promo before his match because he said it was special to be back in the 2300 arena. It was the building where him and his brother Jay fell in love with professional wrestling, and said his attention was on Kyle Fletcher in the TNT Championship, but he needs to have a conversation with Don Callis to get his match for the title. And he said, I am speaking of the same Don Callis that looks like Elton John dressed up as a prosthetic penis for Halloween. Really good line. My biggest thing though is like I feel that line would hit so much harder if it took out the Halloween part. You know what I mean? And it just ended on prosthetic penis, because then I feel like you get a chant going because the emphasis is put there. What's the line that I heard somebody say? Like it's stepping on your own pop or something. Like something that small, I feel like makes the line hit even harder if it just ends on the penis. Pause. But that was just something I thought about as I was like as I heard the line. I was like, man, I feel like people would love that line even more if it just ended right there. You know what I mean? Instead of just adding the on Halloween. You know what I mean? Like, what does that add? Like, it doesn't really add much. I'm thinking way too much about a line mentioning Elton John and a prosthetic penis, but this is the shit I was thinking about. My overthinking brain and stuff like that. Don Callis eventually comes out and he says he's busy getting Fletcher ready to deal with Briscoe, but you're going to end up actually facing Konosuke Takeshita on Saturday for Collision. Hell yes. He comes out and has a little bit of a face-off with Briscoe, but then leaves, but he still wanted a match tonight on Dynamite against a member of the Don Callis family. And that originally it looked like it was going to be Rocky Romero stepping up, but then Don was kind of like, nah, you know what? I got a better idea. Brings out Lance, and Lance Archer comes out, and they have a quick impromptu match against each other. And it was fun. It was a fun, solid match. I think I heard Shivani say basically, because Briscoe ended up getting the victory, that it was his 50th win in AEW. It was a solid match. I feel like you go up against Lance Archer and the guy takes care of you. The guy is just reliable, and you're going to have fun matches when you face him. And Briscoe's a fun wrestler who is very entertaining and very over with the crowd too. It wasn't anything over the top. It wasn't anything more than it needed to be. It was solid. I thought it was just a solid match.
A really good professional wrestling match. You know, it was a good professional wrestling match.
I think the fact that they had the promo beforehand helped give it a little bit more weight, with them teasing, obviously, Fletcher and Briscoe. And then just continuing to make Don Callis family is the biggest force outside of the Death Riders in AEW.
I think they're a bigger force than Death Riders.
At this point in time, because of the fact that Mox doesn't have the title and there's no gold around their waist besides the trios belts.
Yeah, and
Actually, no, they don't have those either. No, that like they because they don't have any gold left. Yeah, I would say Don Callis family is the group that's got the most leeway right now, or I should say, most sway in AEW at the moment.
Yeah, they are the head, heel group right now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, absolutely.
But we move over now.
Again,
the quick little
Lance
pre-tape
Archer
promo
on your TV is always good TV. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Always good TV. Like I said, he's steady as they come. I feel like that's the biggest compliment I can give the guy. He's just steady as they come.
Absolutely.
We then have Tony Storm talking about how she talked about the history of the 2300 Arena. He said called them the Philadelphia Freaks and said, no forever champion or belt collector can take my championship. I want the best, the worst, and everything in between. But don't worry, darlings. God doesn't judge. That's my job. So, yeah. Like I said, I think our own Britt Baker could fall into the category of that.
The resident dentist, the former AEW champion, I feel like I'm not saying she's going to be this. I'm not.
No,
I'm not by
we're not trying to insinuate that, but we're just saying it makes sense. I mean, they're not going to do it because they had her off TV for freaking like over a year plus.
Yes, I mean, like I want to make sure that's clear. I'm not calling it. I hope. I have.
We all hope that she's back.
Yeah, but I don't know if she's coming back. I don't know. So I feel like they got the Pittsburgh show in September. I think there's different times and things that they have if they wanted to. I think this is a good time to do it. But it feels like it's going to be a new challenger. Whoever it is, the way she cut the promo, it's like it's setting up where it can be somebody you're not expecting. And I can't think of anybody really, outside of, like a Britt Baker, maybe a Nyla Rose, who's also a former AEW Women's Champion, in that line of thinking that could be it. So I think she's going to have a new challenger at All Out, but I feel like it's in a few weeks. They might want to, let us know who that's going to be.
Yes. We then had a backstage segment with Chris Statlander and Harley Cameron. And they caught up basically about their issues with Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. And she said, you know what? I got bloodied again by you. The mask didn't help me. And then Statlander basically said, your wrath doesn't come from a mask. It comes from inside of you. And it fired her up. She doesn't have the mask anymore. And then she has the face paint of like the cat face paint mask on her face. That was sick. And she's like, we're an undefeated tag team. We're going straight for the top. We're calling out you, Brodito. We want those tag team championships. And then Stat was like, let's maybe get our focus back on Bayne and Ford. And then they get interrupted by Wheeler Yuta. And he says he's delivering a message from someone else. And it's like, the Death Riders, we got your back. Just want to let you know that. Harley tried to respond, but Marina Shafir gets in front of Stat and basically said, you can tell our friend that I got his message, all right? And then they leave, and I was like, I'll deliver your message, basically. So interesting how the Death Riders have kind of taken a little bit of a interest in Stat and Harley. Maybe more so Stat than Harley.
Oh, yeah, it's Stat, not Harley.
Yeah. I was just saying, Harley's just kind of there. I'm saying, dude, I saw the way... Listen. I saw the way Mox looked into Harley's eyes. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I was gonna say Harley's everything he hates about wrestling.
and Moxie's everything that I hate because you can't hate my girl.
No, like Stat. Yeah, this was perfect. Her challenging Brodito. Oh my God, like.
Dude, someone already made a graphic for it, and I fucking love it.
I want to be clear when I say this. No one makes better use of their time than Harley Cameron. You can give her 30 seconds.
Say it again.
You can give her a minute. You could give her a pop-up. You could give her... No wrestler in this company, in AEW, period, makes better use of her time than Harley Cameron. When she's on the screen, she says something does something, the expressions, whatever, to make that moment memorable. It is like,
Great.
You need someone like this in your company. Period.
Yep. I'm telling you, man.
She could never wrestle a match again. She would be just as entertaining.
Yeah. No, and again, I am still of the mindset that you give Harley like a year, and probably even less time than I would think. But you give her a max of a year, and I see her being a champion in some way in AEW. Because, I mean, dude, she's so fucking over. Like, and she's got such a level of growth at this. She's learning so fast, and she just picks up on shit so quickly. It's, like, not fair how she does it. And, yeah, I just think, yeah, you're right on the money with that, making the most out of her time. She does it every single time.
Like, if someone says I don't get enough screen time, dude, study Harley. Everything she does, she makes count. It's remarkable. Like, I have no other word for it other than that. Like she's not my type of character, but it doesn't matter because she's gonna make her moment matter. When she gets it, she's gonna make it count.
Oh yeah, no question about it. We moved over next to the AEW World Tag Team Championship match between Brodito and the Death Riders, Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta. This was a really nice title defense. It was a nice little match for Brodito to defend their belts and to go up against some talents. I loved the moment where fucking Bandito hits the Macarena and tries to get gets Brody to dance, and Brody's like X's and like no, and then like walks out back onto the apron. I love that after they did the double team on Claudio, and it was just really, really nice work. Honestly, I loved how the moment where Bandito hits a head scissor onto Brody into Claudio in the corner. Fucking crazy. And like, it was just really, really strong. There was really, really fast-paced movement in there too. I liked how Yuta was able to come in and just get some like quick little bitchy moves in as well. And then as the match goes on though, Jon Moxley comes up as Marina Shafir is distracting the referee, throws Brody into the post. Bandito then is by himself against Claudio and Yuta, and that's when Claudio hits a superplex, and then Yuta gets thrown onto Bandito, but Bandito kicks out of it. The spin into the drop kick, the giant swing into the drop kick. Brody breaks up the pin. Mox is looking like he's going to come out and try to make another move. And that's when Darby comes back and takes out Mox, and that allows time for Bandito to hit 21-plex, and that gets the title defense. And as that happens, Darby then proceeds to get out. Death Riders are chasing him down. So, yeah, I thought this was fun. It was really good. Honestly, like, it was just enjoyable, and everybody in the match, I thought, did a really good job. Having the Mox come in with the interference, but Darby making the save and continuing to be a thorn on the side of the Death Riders, I love. So I just love the fact that Darby's just he's this pest, and he's just constantly getting at these guys, just like needling them and needling them and needling them. And I like how he's a rodent. He's a fucking cockroach. Can't stamp him out.
Dude, this was an annoyingly good match.
Yes.
They're really good as a tag team.
I know.
And I hate it. Because it doesn't change how I feel about how they won it. But they're so good. Like, this match was so good. It was so good. This is tag team wrestling. This is what I like. This is what I love. It wasn't like traditional tag team wrestling, but, it still had the same basic storylines of it. and their timing and everything. It's like if you just put two exceptional wrestlers together, they can put on an exceptional match. They're dragging me kicking and screaming. They'll never be my favorite tag team, but yeah, they're pretty fucking good. Yeah.
It's hard to it's frustrating because they were just thrown together, but now they're just a team.
Yeah,
and it just works.
Yeah, you give me a match like this every week, Floyd is happy.
Yeah, there's not much to be mad about.
Like Floyd, this is the happiest Floyd. I love tag team wrestling. This was tag team wrestling. I mean, the Darby and Mox stuff, that was great, but everything up to that was just the tag team wrestling part. Yeah, that was good shit. That was good
shit. Very good shit.
I needed a cigarette after that good shit. It was some good shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a quick little backstage thing where Konosuke Takeshita basically was told by Okada to step back into his shadow and basically said, you may call yourself the alpha, but I'm the top dog. Hurt Syndicate accepted Ricochet's challenge backstage. And then we get into Adam Copeland and Christian Cage coming out. And FCR jump them. And they just start going at him. And Cage then proceeds to come out, and they're fighting. Security can't separate them. Locker room comes out, and they're starting to fight. Dax gets busted open. Everything was starting to calm down, but then Harwood grabs who was found out to be Jordan Oliver, and Spike pile drives him, and then all of a sudden we have Adam Priest come in. They go after AFTR. And that was after JD Drake lost to them on Collision. And basically, there's some beef there. But FTR basically, because they couldn't get to Christian and Cope, they finally decide to just you know what, fuck it. And then just take somebody else out and get something going there. And they actually said backstage, they said basically, they called Adam Priest over and then it's like, you're at TV 1 week and you think you're some big shit. And then basically said, you know what? We can do the whole thing again on Saturday, so go find a partner. So calls out Adam Priest for a match on Collision as well. And just FTR asserting their authority. So it was a nice little segment of just everyone brawling it out a little bit on everything. And it just showed the tension. And it just showed why these two teams are just dying to go at each other. But when they get into Toronto, all hell's going to break loose. It's a good way to get everything hyped up like that. So
yes.
I like this.
Yes, I'm hoping all hell does break loose.
Yes.
Yes.
And then we close it out with the All-Star 8-man tag, Kyle Fletcher, Josh Alexander, and the Young Bucks versus Hangman Adam Page, the AEW World Champion, Kenny Omega, and Jet Speed. And just high-flying, non-stop, crazy action. And the one thing I got to say real quick, because we got Hangman and Kenny teaming again in this match. And then we had the Protostar in this. Can you imagine, just picture it in your head, just how good in your heart this would feel to have this match and how it needs to happen at some point. I'm not trying to take away from this match because it was super fun and super entertaining, but just think about the prospects of seeing Hangman and Kenny versus Proto Sheeta. Just think about that and get it in your head and think about how fucking insanely good that would be. Just at some point, Tony, I want that. And I need you to give it to me. It doesn't have to be tomorrow. It doesn't have to be today. It doesn't have to be a few weeks from now. Some point, though, give me that. I need it. And this was just awesome. A great holy shit chant moment when the Bucks and Hangman and Kenny started facing off. I especially love the elite chant as well. Just, man, I haven't heard that chant in fucking years. It's been so long. I thought this was a ton of fun. And I will tell you, though, Hangman and Kenny being reunited. People are ecstatic for this by far, just seeing them again. And it was just really, really, really good. Young Bucks getting the title card of these guys again was awesome. And they even showed the highlights of the meet and greet that they had for $20 and how awkward it was, which is very funny. I liked how they teased Hangman and Kenny colliding with each other. And that's when that allowed Hangman getting buckshot lariats into Matt and Nick. It was really, really fast-paced, exciting stuff. We get into the final moments of the match because it lasted like over 3 commercial breaks too. The match was crazy long. We have Young Bucks. Great moment where Speedball does a moonsault. Well, does his flip and knee. He celebrates and then gets super kicked in the chin by both the Bucks. And that's when they set up and get Kyle Fletcher in the ring on Kevin Knight. Hits the brainbuster. Kyle Fletcher pins Kevin Knight for the win. And that's when they start fighting up and causing more hand damage. Hangman gets put through a chair. Kenny tries to fight back, and he gets a vicious brainbuster through a table by Kyle Fletcher. Vicious shit. It looked really fucking brutal. And they attend to Kenny. He gets stretchered out and seemingly gets written off TV for just a little bit while he takes care of stuff with his diverticulitis, I believe, and just continues to do that. Because, I mean, this dude is, beating the hell out of himself, and just you want to make sure he can keep going for as long as he can. So make sure he takes care of his body. Fun main event, and a really vicious look for the Don Callis family to close out Dynamite. Like I said, we were right when we said, they're the most dominant group in AEW right now. They're dangerous, they're vicious, and it's wild to see how much that group has grown and how many incredible talents are in it too. So shouts out.
I mean, they're an all-star team. You know what I mean? It's like the all-star of team of all all-star teams. It is you got Okada, Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher. If you're doing any top 10 list, let's maybe go 20 of best wrestlers in the world, they're on it. You know, you got Hechicero, best at his style. You got Josh Alexander, former TNA World Champion. Nobody questions him being a great wrestler. Rocky Romero, he is the Forbidden Door. You know, it's like everybody that they have, they are the deepest unit you've ever seen in wrestling. They are the NWO, but nothing but hitters. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, it is freaking awesome. So shout out, this group. And it's honestly, when you're coming off the Death Riders, this is what you need. You need something like this to get you, because you need something that's tying the whole company together. And you got the Death Riders and Darby in the background, and it's like it's holding the show together. I feel like it's funny because what we're going to talk about in just a second. I feel like these have been two of the better Dynamites as far as action this year. It's like wall-to-wall action on the show. Something's always happening on the show. So I'm like, man, these have been great shows. I'm telling people to watch it or whatever. And then, it hasn't seemed to, come across to ratings yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is, yeah. So
it will, though. It will.
Yeah. So, yeah, apparently this Dynamite had AEW, Dynamite all-time low rating, 472,000. 0.11 in the demographic, and we had a lot of people asking, what does this mean for AEW? Even Sean Ross Sapp said it, and is there a bigger thing? And I have my opinion, and I will say mine. And in Austin, if you have any thoughts, definitely jump in. Oversaturation of wrestling. There is too much wrestling on TV. Wrestling used to be the steak dinner. You know what I mean? Like a really good steak dinner. And if you get a really good steak dinner, once a week, it's amazing. You're going to make sure you're home, on time. It's going to come in at 6. And, the steak, you want to make sure you're there because the steak is hot and it's delicious. But now it's like you have Dynamite. And then you have Collision. So you got 4 hours of shows right now. And then if you watch any other wrestling, there's literally wrestling on every day, not including New Japan, or if you're into New Japan, AAA, CMLL, any of that. And I just think when you have so much wrestling available, and I'm not talking to people that I only watch AEW or only watch WWE people. Hey, you are your own person. Don't get me wrong. You can get burnt out. So I even say my week kind of works from Wednesday to Wednesday. I got to Tuesday, and I've quit watching NXT. And the reason being is forcing myself to watch NXT was taking away from the other wrestling that I was watching. It had nothing to do with NXT or whether it was a good show or a bad show or whatever. I'm not going to insult it. I was oversaturating myself with wrestling. I am putting this on me, not on the company. So by the time I got to Tuesday, I was fucking done. And then you got Saturday shows. You got the NXT does their own PLEs. WWE does their own PLEs, which they're doing at an amazing clip. AEW's 10, 11 pay-per-views a year, where we were just at 4. It's just, if you are a wrestling fan, there is too much fucking wrestling. Too much of a good thing is a bad thing. There's too much wrestling. Like I said, I have personally started limiting myself to help myself, but I can see when you have so much wrestling becomes skippable. Because guess what? There's just going to be more wrestling the next day. There's just going to be more wrestling the next week. And I know AEW does their own brand of wrestling. Believe me, I don't do a podcast about something I don't love. I don't have that in me. So I love it. Don't get me wrong. But I can see to a normal person, and I always bring up my friend Jason. He's the casual that I always talk about. He even likes it. We talk about it. He's like, yes, I am definitely a casual. And, he is the casual of casuals. And he's like, wrestling is wrestling to him, right? There's too much on. I can skip today because there's more wrestling on tomorrow. I can skip Dynamite. ROH is on tomorrow. I can skip ROH. Collision's on Saturday. There's too much of a good thing right now.
Yeah. It's hard to keep up with everything, and some shit's going to fall to the wayside because you can't follow everything.
Yeah, and it used to be like with him, he'd miss an episode. He's like, I'll go back and watch it. Now he just goes, and goes on to the next week. It's not that AEW is not great. It's not that he doesn't like AEW. There's just too much wrestling, and people like regular TV. People like movies. People like going out with their friends. They have kids and wives and all that stuff. You don't have that much time to dedicate to wrestling. I can imagine on weeks where the rating is this low, like the 72-hour thing where you go back and watch it, probably spikes and is super high. Because it wasn't that they didn't want to watch it, they didn't have time to watch it right then. You know, and it's not, to some people, it's not appointment viewing. Not everybody's me. Not everybody's you. You know what I mean? So it's not necessarily appointment viewing. So I don't think it's anything AEW can control. I don't think it's anything WWE can control. I mean, there's just too much wrestling on right now.
Yeah. No, so at this point, you know what I mean? The number's going to go back up, and it's just because there's a lot going on right now. It's a busy time for wrestling. And hell, it's going to be
John Cena.
It's going to be a fun time with
John Cena suspected last SmackDown, and AJ Lee's coming back, is going up against the Kansas City Chiefs for free on YouTube. Good luck.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with whether the WWE product is going to be good or not. It's not going to say anything about how much people love AJ Lee. It's not going to say anything about how people love John Cena. The NFL owns America.
And it owns the casuals.
The number one team in the NFL, as far as popularity right now, is the Chiefs.
Yes.
A lot of, whatever reasons you want, it's the Chiefs. They just said, hey, if you have internet, you get to watch the Chiefs game.
And that's huge, too, because they shut down Stream East, so people can't illegally stream them like that. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you get a free stream right there. And also, if you're watching that game, go watch the special stream with one and only Tom Grassi, because he's got an official YouTube stream with that game. So definitely watch his stream of the game.
Yeah. And so that's what I'm just saying. It's just like, I don't think AEW and WWE, no matter how much WWE counter programs or whatever, I don't think they're competing against each other. I think they're
so in that case though, because I saw Meltzer and Alvarez talking about WrestlePalooza and All Out. So like,
yeah, I'm just saying they're.
Like, I saw Alvarez make the comment about basically it's like, AEW fans are not gonna jump ship to like go watch John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. You're not gonna find an AEW fan out there that would not watch All Out instead of that would not watch WrestlePalooza instead of All Out. Basically, they're choosing All Out, like, because why would they watch that? And Meltzer was just adamant about the number not going to be close or whatever. But like, again, it's like we're doing this during football season. Like, it's just,
yeah. You know what else is happening Saturday?
Yeah.
You know what else is happening that Saturday? I think it's like Florida and Texas is coming on at the same time as the WWE. And then the Saturday games that are happening that Saturday afternoon are coming on. It's like they're not competing against each other, in my opinion. I think they're competing against football. They're competing against movies.
During this time period, yes.
Yes, you're competing against football. You're competing against movies. You're competing against time with your kids. And the thing about WWE, the added advantage they have is their shit's sold. It does not matter how many people watch WrestlePalooza on ESPN.
Yeah, they got it being on ESPN, so they bought the pay-per-view rights.
They already bought it, so it doesn't matter. So that's why they can do that, because they don't care. When they were selling pay-per-views, there is no way they put on this show, because pay-per-views were a revenue and they would probably get killed going up against college football. They're not selling it anymore. It's already been sold. It's pre-bought. So yeah, like I said, I'm just saying, I just think there's too much wrestling right now, and like I said, normal people. And I mean that, and the normal people probably aren't listening to this show, but the normal people that are listening to the show, the people they don't want to spend 20 hours a week watching wrestling.
Yeah. So, either way, we went a little bit off topic on that, but that was Dynamite. Real quickly, we're going to go into what we've got coming up for AEW Collision this upcoming Friday. This show is going to have a lot on it. We've got Moxley versus Daniel Garcia, Mark Briscoe versus Konosuke Takeshita, an 8-woman tag between Timeless Toni Storm, Mina Shirakawa, Harley Cameron, and Chris Statlander versus the Triangle of Madness and Megan Bayne, and everyone else in their groups are banned from ringside. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, let me go check to see if a new match was announced for that real quick. Outside of those three, Kyle Fletcher and Don Callis are going to have a promo, and then you have Adam Priest versus Tommy Billington, Dynamite Kid Tommy Billington, against FTR. So all those Adam Priest has his partner. It's Tommy Billington, Dynamite Kid, and that's what we've got for Collision this week.
Thank God Florida State's playing at 11 this week, or 12.
Yeah, right.
No, because honestly, with my football, I'll tell anyone, I love wrestling just much more than anything. But
you would much rather watch wrestling second half. I mean, on DVR than you do college football or football.
I only get 12 Florida State games.
Yeah,
I get 52 episodes of Collision and Dynamite a week. A year. I only get 12 games. Yeah, the games are going to take precedence, and it's just like, that's how people think. I keep saying that, but no, I'm really looking forward to Collision anytime I get to see my boys wrestle. They've built to Mox versus Daniel Garcia. I'm hoping that helps draw some eyes on the show. But again, you're going up against Michigan and OU this week. It's Michigan,
Yep.
Michigan and OU. It's 2 ranked teams, 2 blue bloods, 2 ratings draws. That's what you're going up against Collision. And if you ask, honestly, so my friend Jason, just keeping everything 100, said, hey, we got free tickets to OU and Michigan. You think I'm going to skip a free ticket to OU and Michigan to watch Collision? Or am I just going to watch?
Yeah, about that.
Or am I just going to watch it Sunday morning?
I think you'll just watch it Sunday morning.
I'm trying to keep it as a fan as realistic as possible. Like the sky is not falling. It's just more competition right now. This is what's going to happen every football season.
Yeah.
You can chill out because this is what's going to happen during football season.
Yep. So
yeah.
That is what we've got for this upcoming week, though. And then we're going to quickly we have a few matches, like I said, already announced for All Out. Adam Copeland and Christian Cage versus FTR, Mercedes Moné versus Riho. Floyd, was there any other matches that you think we're leading towards on All Out?
That's what I was saying. I think we're going to get, I don't know why. I think we're going to end up with Brodito versus the Young Bucks.
Again?
Yeah, running back for the tag team belts at All Out. I think that's what's going to happen. And I just think they got another match in them. I think it'll be good. I think All Out probably is, as far as the men's side, is going to be very Don Callis family centric.
I see.
And since the Young Bucks are adjacent to the Don Callis family, they're not in it, but they mess with them. I think Don Callis tries to win them over by getting them a title shot at All Out. Just vibes, just energy there. I think we're going to definitely have a match there. Yeah.
All right.
Do you see anything? I mean, I know Harley's going to be on the show. I just don't know what she's going to do.
At some point, yeah.
Yeah. But
I feel like, because that's the thing, too, because, again, we've got everything happening with Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford, and I feel like the match leading up to everything, I think, at least for right now, I think you could probably guess that maybe we could get Megan Bayne versus Chris Statlander in a singles match. I think maybe Harley is in her corner, but I think maybe that's the singles match we get in that regard. And then Tony's the interesting one, like who she defends the title against.
I'm going Sheeta or Britt.
Yeah, someone's got to come back, I feel like.
Yeah, it's either going to be Sheeta or Britt. I'm leaning heavily towards Sheeta. I want it to be Britt, of course.
Sheeta, I feel like at this point, it's the easier bet.
Yeah, I think it's, if you say it 100%, I'm going 70-30 Sheeta.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think is this where they do Darby Mox?
Oh, this is definitely where they do Darby Mox.
Yeah, I feel like it's just got to be where they do Darby Mox.
This is going to be Darby Mox, and it's going to have to be some kind of no rules match.
Do they go with the casket rules?
Maybe.
Or do they switch it up? You know what? Instead of casket rules, what if they switch it up and it's a body bag match?
Body bag match, because he's been putting everybody in the body bag.
Yes. So
it's gonna be a body bag match.
I feel like that just leads to everything making sense with why he's dragging people around in body bags. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I got for you right there. Everything else is up in the air for me.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the Ops versus, maybe it's on a pre-show, but maybe on a regular show, the Ops versus 3 members of the Don Callis family. No, hold on. I'm doing my math in my head. Oh, yeah. So, did we do Ops versus Death Riders?
That was last week.
Okay. And then was Gabe Kidd one of the 3?
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. I'm sorry. I don't know if y'all know this is late. We watched the football game before this, so now
freaking rain delay on the Cowboys-Eagles game.
Yeah, I did not pre-think about this. This is me just kind of spitballing, but I feel like you got to have the Ops versus somebody. I'm like, but I definitely think we're getting the full-on Hurt Syndicate versus the Ricochet of Agony. Which I think they do need a name. I don't like Ricochet and Gates of Agony. They need a name. Again, I'm big on team names. I know it's a weird thing to be big on, but I want a team name. So Ricochet, get out your pen and your pad. Come up with a damn name.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I'm really looking forward to the show. It's so weird because we've gotten, like, with the FTR match, right? With FTR match, we've gotten a lot early. So, and this is not something that happens very often.
It's not, which, you know what? Again, like I said, I'm not against that.
Oh,
I'm not against building hype for a show with big matches.
I think this is how you sell shows, really.
Yes.
I'm like, but that I think that's it for our speculating, right?
Yeah, I think that's about all we got right there.
We're going to get you to bed, so let's wrap this.
Well, we got a couple other things we want to hit on real quick.
Absolutely. So this is it. This is the time. The inaugural, sir, right?
Yes, first one.
We told you about this last month. This will be I'm going to call this, I came up with this, Keeping It Strong Style presents the AEW Wrestler and Match of the Month, because I completely stole this idea from them. They've been doing it since I've been listening to their show for years. I think I'm on like 5 or 6 years at least consistently listening to their show. So I was just like, why don't we do that? I was like last month, I was like, why don't we do that? And I was like, we're going to do that. But I wanted to make sure, Keeping It Strong Style, the young boy Josh Smith and Jeremy Donovan, the captain, Jeremy Donovan, the quarterback of the Social Suplex. I want to make sure they get a shout out because literally I stole it from them. I mean, yeah, I'm mincing no words. I'm not trying to pretend like this idea. I was listening to the show. I was like, why don't we do that? So this will be officially called, even though this is on All Things Elite, it's called the Keeping It Strong Style presents AEW Wrestler Match of the Month, Wrestler and Match of the Month. I hit up Austin because I thought I was gonna have to pick somebody that's had a fucking amazing month. I want to give a special shout out, an honorable mention to the man, the myth, the legend, Bandito. He has been unreal over the last couple months. He is probably any match of the wrestler of the year conversation you have. And when you're talking about all companies, and if it doesn't include Bandito, just throw your list away. That's how I feel. So
he'll be in the conversation. He has to be.
He has to be in the conversation. But we did come up with a person we agreed on. And since it was your idea, Austin, give him the shout out yourself. Our August Wrestler of the Month is who, Austin?
Mr. Hangman Adam Page, our AEW World Heavyweight Champion, has used his first month of being World Champion following his victory at All In this past July. And he has done some pretty fucking banger stuff, I will say. Just in general right now, I mean, if we go through and we just touch on what he's been doing recently, we can go through and just, you just go through and you look through what he's done.
The match with MJF.
The match with MJF was absolutely sick. And then you've got incredible stuff like just his promos that he's been doing. He was just recently, of course, in this match that we just talked about on Dynamite in starting off September. So he started off September with a big performance as well. Had a also very solid match on Collision where he teamed up with Jet Speed against La Facción Ingobernables. I think there was, in terms of people that did more this month, I think Bandito did more. But I think just in terms of Hangman stuff from this month, I feel like he's just had some really, really good promos as well. He's just been really, really solid. And I just feel like he's gotten into what we wanted Hangman to be when he was champion the first time. And it's been a really great start. And I think it just makes sense for him in his first month as a champion to be our Wrestler of the Month. And again, I do think the honorable mention does go to Bandito, our Ring of Honor World Champion. and now new tag team champion with Brody. I think that man is absolutely on pace to being a future Wrestler of the Month for us as well. But we will definitely make our inaugural winner for this month, Hangman Adam Page.
And he's perfect to be it. He is the main character. He is the face of the company. I'm pretty sure the next few months it's going to be him going up against a lot of members of the Don Callis family. This is his promotion. He was chosen at All In, and he's the guy. Honestly, he might have been the match of the month for me, but apparently he missed it by 2 days because his match with Mox, which I really enjoyed in Chicago, did not. It was on July 30th, not on August 1st. So we're trying to stick to the rules as strictly as possible, but we're kind of giving them credit for that match when we talk about Wrestler of the Month. Sorry.
Yeah, but Forbidden Door was significantly carrying a lot of it.
Yes. Yeah, that was almost my match of the month. Now, we're going to have separate matches of the month. I will go first, let Austin finish. My match of the month, I was going to go MJF versus Hangman. I really enjoyed that from Forbidden Door, but that will be my honorable mention. The match of the month, the slam from the inside the ring through the table. It is Claudio Castagnoli versus Darby Allin from the Philadelphia 2300 residency. Oh my God, I enjoyed
the last man standing match.
Last man standing match. I enjoyed that match so much. It was fucking crazy. This is Darby in his element. Like I said, even before he left, I had started becoming like a massive Darby fan because, again, when it comes to wrestling and characters and everything, he understands who and what he is just as much as anybody in professional wrestling through all the companies. Every promo, everything he does represents who he is. This match, getting tossed around, the shit beaten out of him, but still prevailing. That is the Darby Allin thing. You can beat on him, but you can't beat him. Good. So shout out to Floyd's first match of the month for August, which is Darby Allin versus Claudio Castagnoli. Now to Austin.
My match of the month goes to a match of the AEW World Tag Team Title Eliminator Tournament. It was the semifinal match. It took place in Cleveland, Ohio. I happened to be in attendance for this match. It was Brodito versus the Young Bucks. First off, it had a very entertaining moment to open the show where we'll open the match with the Young Bucks. Their entrance got botched because their stupid little elevator thing didn't work, and they had to climb underneath the LED board. And then you got Justin Roberts fucking with their entrance and just being a dickhead. And then their pyro being a giant ass mortar blast that scared the shit out of me and scared the shit out of everybody in the building, followed by two piss poor little fireworks that shot up. And then the greatest music that fucking what's his name who does the music for AEW, greatest music he's ever made, Mikey Ruckus' greatest work, and the video package and the entrance music and the video on the big screen was great. But Brodito, they won my way into my hearts. Brody's always been one of my faves. Bandito has absolutely worked his way into my heart as well, and them teaming together has been just undeniable. Their road to the AEW Tag Team Championship at Forbidden Door was wild, and it was a fun little match that they had at Forbidden Door, but I had a lot of issues with it. I couldn't go, in my heart of hearts, even though I love that they won the titles, go with that because I didn't agree with the way that things went, and of course the finish was a little bit of a mess. But their match against the Bucks in Cleveland, 20 minutes of just absolute madness. Such great work in this match. So entertaining. I just have nothing but good things about this match. It was just so well done. Being in person, obviously, I'm a little bit biased because I was in the arena when I saw the match. But it was just such a good match. So good. And I just love the work that those guys have done. And again, a massive shout out to Bandito. Like he wrestled his ass off this month with matches at Lucha Libre. He had a triple threat match there. Then he had the match of the month for myself. Then he had the 30-minute draw against FTR. Then he had the three-way tag match to win the World Tag Titles at Forbidden Door. And then they immediately proceeded to team up with Jet Speed in an 8-man tag against Hechicero, Josh Alexander, Okada, and Konosuke Takeshita. And that's all while he still defended the Ring of Honor World title against Hechicero in a fucking barn burner at Death Before Dishonor as well. So, I mean, massive shouts out to Bandito and everything that he's done this month. Like I said, he very well could have been my wrestler of the month, but just came up just a little bit short to Adam Page. But yeah, that tag match against the Bucks. I can't stand the Bucks' character. I can't stand them, but fuck me if they don't wrestle so goddamn good, and it's so entertaining. And I was not expecting Brodito to win that match, so it made the finish even more special. So that would be my pick for match of the month for AEW.
And I did want to give one more shout out to our girl Athena.
Yes.
999 days as champion. Actually, by the time
this comes out, it'll be 1,000.
1,000 days as champion. She's also been putting on killer matches. Amazing wrestler. She'd probably be in that list too, but you can't give everybody the match. You can't give everybody the wrestler of the month. We're gonna go with we're gonna go the captain steering the ship right now, Hangman Page.
Yep.
All right.
No doubt about it. All right, and then just real quickly, a couple other headlines we want to touch on real quick before we get out of here.
All right, these are quick. Everybody's been talking about it. AEW pay-per-view is moving. It's moving to HBO Max as an option. So if you order through Amazon, payperview.com, and this is in America, Amazon, payperview.com, or in America, or you would still be able to order that way. But if you have an HBO Max subscription, you're going to be able to go into HBO Max and buy it, and it's $10 less than the regular. So basically, you already pay $10 for HBO Max. They're giving you that $10 back when you order the AEW pay-per-view. And I know a lot of people were hoping the decision that it would be free, and that would be great. But the reason other companies are able to offer it with subscription included is because they got a big fat ass check from ESPN, and UFC got a big fat ass check from Paramount. So when WWE, WBD, or whoever cuts a big fat ass check, it'll be included with your subscription. But right now, it is a revenue that is required for AEW to move forward. So they are charging that $39.99 price. So you can do it that way. You can definitely wait to order, or you can order it the current way you want. Now, this is advice from Floyd. If you want the path to AEW having this included in HBO Max, and you have HBO Max, I advise you order it through HBO Max. Because again, I said this about it when you were talking about the TV deal. If you want AEW to succeed, your goal is for them to succeed, you want to do everything through Max, because Tony Khan seems set on getting any deal he gets from WBD. The only way these deals come in is if people are showing up and watching the show. And again, what I'm talking about is a very rudimentary idea of how TV contracts work. I am by no means in the industry, but I do know this. When you buy something more, that makes the company look good, and that generally gets them more money. That's a safe thought, right, TV guy?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so if you're going to order it and you have access to HBO Max, order it on HBO Max. Now, I don't see why anybody that calls themselves a Dynamite fan or AEW fan doesn't have HBO Max now, because, it's honestly the easiest way to watch it and go watch old shit is that $9.99 a month. So make sure you're ordering it for $39.99 through HBO Max. I am officially switching to HBO Max as far as my buying my accounts now. So that's a lot of ways to say. If you have HBO Max, buy it on HBO Max. But if you don't, buy it the same way you normally have been doing it. And then the next piece of information, also about All Out, they have moved the start time to 3 p.m. Eastern. Apparently, this was, this allows people in the UK to watch it during their prime time. Another extra benefit is it allows it to miss the recently announced WrestlePalooza. Now, I'm not going to go a lot into this because, I've talked a lot, but I will say this about AEW. I need this announced earlier. Stuff like this announced earlier.
Right.
Or announce that it's on a flex schedule. Announce that it's tentatively this, but it could change before that date. Because there are travel people out there, and I am not talking about me. My schedule is actually pretty flexible. I don't have kids. I don't work Fridays and Saturdays. My schedule is pretty flexible. But there are people out there that schedule is not as flexible, that had already had flights and hotels and all that stuff booked on it starting at 8 p.m. on Saturday, that has to change that. You have financially cost them money by changing your time. This is where you have to think of the fans when you make changes like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just not as simple as, oh, you're just watching it earlier. No, your whole day is scheduled. I know a person, I'm not going to name names, that was literally flying in 7, whatever that morning to get there at 9. So, yeah, when it's starting at 8, if there's a delay or something, there's wiggle room to still get there. But now that it's starting at 3, that's not a lot of wiggle room. So the person had to move their flight to the day before so they can make sure they're in town so they can go see the show. That is a change fee. That is an extra night of hotel. That is a lot of fees associated with making this change. So I really do think you have to think of your fans before making these changes this late in the game. That's all. Any thoughts on that?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any thoughts?
I mean, like, it's tough. I understand it, and yeah, I get why for people traveling, you want to know this a little bit earlier. But at the very least, it's good that we have it now, so that way you can at least hopefully try to figure out a way to get around it. But yeah, it's one of those things where, like, the time should have been set in advance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's just like I understand they're getting counter programmed. There's not a lot they can do about it. This is not something they can control. But the thing about it is, it's just like, just put it on the time that you were going to put it on, and
right.
Let the chips fall where they may. But again, it's not my money. I'm just talking about the experience and the issues you may be causing from the fan side. So I adjusted my schedule. I was getting into Friday night anyway. I get to wake up and have some Timmy Hortons in the morning to get pumped up for the show. So that's all good. But it's just like, again, people not necessarily as fortunate as me have to completely move shit around. Like, let's just say, just as an example, you were leaving because you're going to leave at 8, and you live about 3 hours away from Toronto, right?
Yep.
And you're like, oh, show starts at 8. I'm going to leave at 3. Get there right before showtime. I got somebody watching my kids from 3 until I get back. You just now fucked up their whole babysitting situation. Right?
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. Honestly.
So you got to think of people when you make these drastic changes. A few hours doesn't seem like a big deal, but to a lot of fans, it can be big deal. It could be the difference in hundreds of dollars, and that's just not. So you think about the ticket price, you think about travel price, all this stuff, and now you're adding an extra price on top of that because they want to come see your show and support your show. So
yeah, so just make sure that stuff's more clear earlier on, is all I would say. So
yeah. Like the NFL announces that these games at the end of the season can be flexed.
Yes.
And there have been emergencies where games have to be moved, but they were emergencies. I wouldn't count this as an emergency.
No.
Yeah, this is So announce that the schedule can be flexed, whatever.
Yep, that's all.
Yeah. But we've talked enough. It's almost 3:00 your time. Let's wrap this up, sir.
Let's wrap it up. That's everything we've got for this episode of All Things Elite, guys. We appreciate the support. We truly do. Thank you so much for tuning in every week. And we hope you continue to support us. Download the show on YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you're listening to us on. We appreciate it. Rate, review, subscribe. Share us around with your friends, family, coworkers, who you wish. And follow us on Twitter at ATElitePod. And follow at Social Suplex. Those guys make this show possible, and you should check out all the other incredible shows that Social Suplex has on their network. I am at Austin Sumowitz, SZUMOWICZ. Floyd is at Floyd Johnson Jr. Go to Chop Tees and get a T-shirt of All Things Elite and sign up for the Social Suplex newsletter. Links in the description of this show. And I will pass it off to my buddy Floyd so he can take us home on this episode of All Things Elite.
All right. Football starts this week. We had the Dallas Cowboying tonight. But make sure you set your fantasy lineups. Make sure you get some good old wings and enjoy some time with your friends and family. But most importantly, just have a good weekend. Look out for each other and do what you can. Do what you can to help when you have the moments to help. With that, I'll leave you how I always leave you, whether it's home, work, or school. Always do your best to be elite.